But we're going to take these screws back out here just to gain access to the wiring inside. Okay, and we'll expose the wires inside now. Now you want to make sure that your power supply is turned off and your black is your lead that brings power into this to this box right here. I know I turned it off already, but let's check it just to make sure. This is our non-contact voltage tester, and if this had power in it, this would be beeping like crazy. But as you can see, there's no power in these wires whatsoever. So be very careful, make sure you have your power supply turned off. All right, next thing we're going to do is going to take our wires and we're going to bring them down and bring them back in through the top of the box right here. And we're just going to do this. Okay, now that we have our wire strung in through here, we're going to shorten this down a little bit because we don't need the extra that's in here. So we're just going to take a pair of cutting pliers like this, and we're just going to cut this off just like that. Next, we're going to take our utility knife, and we're going to come in here. We're going to strip the insulation back a little bit right here just to gain access to the wiring in there. Watch you don't cut yourself, of course. Okay. Now we're just going to pull this back like that. And then we're going to cut off the extra outside insulation. Be careful you don't cut the wiring down below. Okay. Next, we're going to strip the insulation back on each one of these wires. We're going to use our strippers to strip it back so we can access the wire down below. You want to have probably about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of copper wire exposed. Next, we're going to take each one of these wires and we're going to twist it to make it into a single strand, because you can see it's multi-strand. So we're just going to twist it around just like this to create one single wire. Each one of them will do that too. Just like that. Now each one of these wires, we're going to connect them back onto the corresponding colors. You can see that this is black, white, red, and this one has nothing on it. That's our ground wire, so we're going to connect our green onto this right here. All right, so let's do that. We're going to connect let's connect our white to the white. All right, so we're going to take our white wire and we're going to bring it in over here. We'll take our white wire. I hope you can see this okay. White wire to the white wire just like that, and twist it around so that's all the way up on the very edge like that. Take our wire nut, put it on, screw it down nice and tight as you can by hand, of course. After you have it screwed on, give the wires a pull and make sure that you have a nice tight fit, which we do. All right, so that's all set. Our white wire is done. Let's take our black wire now and connect our black wire. Again, the same way. Take your two wires, twist them around, just like this. Okay. Okay, we'll take our black wires and we'll twist it around just like this. Okay. And we'll grab our next wire nut and screw our wire nut onto the top. Just like that, as tight as you can by hand again. Okay, now we grab our wires, pull them, make sure they're nice and tight, which they are. Also, make sure that you have no copper showing on the bottom right here. The copper has got to be recessed underneath that cap. Okay, so now our black is done, our white is done. We're going to push it back into the box right here just like this to get it out of the way. Okay. Next, we're going to take our red wire, connect our red wire the same exact way. We made it into one single strand by twisting it together. And now we're going to take that and we're going to wrap it around the wiring from the house itself, just like this, making sure that these wires are all the way up at the very end so that the wire nut can grab it. All right, take our wire nut, screw it on, and make it as tight as you can by hand again, just like that. Pull the wires, make sure they're tight, which they are. No copper is showing down here at all. We're going to take this, push this back into the box. Next, we're going to take our ground right here, and we'll connect our ground onto the ground wire right here. We're going to take it and we're going to twist it around. I know it's tough to see because my hand or arm is in the way, but we're going to do that. And now we'll take our wire nut, put it over the top, screw it down as tight as you can. And that's it. We're going to recess this back into the box itself, just like that. None of the copper on the bottom, as I said, is showing. Let's put our plate back on and we'll finish this job off. Okay, that's it. It's all wiring is done here now. Let's go inside. Let's change the switch because we're putting in a new switch inside at the same time, and then we'll have this job finished. So let's go inside and we'll continue. Now to replace the switch that's inside the house, again, make sure we have our power supply turned off, which we do. We'll unscrew these screws, take them out. We'll pull our switch out to access the wiring, and we are going to reconnect it the exact same way we took it off. So we're going to disconnect this red wire right here. We unscrew it and take it out just like this. Now we know we have no power here, obviously, because I did tell you we checked it. So we're going to take this and put it up over here. We are going to take this one here off as well. All right, unscrew this one. Okay, we'll take that wire and we'll pull it out as well, just like this. So we know these are our two wires there. We're going to take this last wire out down the bottom right here. Okay. And then we'll pull that other black wire out as well, just like that. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to turn it over and we're going to unscrew our ground wire underneath the bottom right here. Okay. Okay, and we'll take our switch totally out. First thing we're going to do first is we're going to connect our ground wire back on. Remember, it's going to go around just like this, like that, and then we'll screw that down. If this is a little bit loose, you can take a pair of pliers and crimp it a little bit tighter, which is probably what we're going to do here as well, just to make it a little bit tighter. Okay. Now we'll hold our switch up where it's going to go like this, and we're going to screw down our ground wire until it's nice and tight. I do want to mention is any of these tools that you see me using, you can see these are in my Amazon store down below the video. I'll have a link to my store so you can check it out and see where these tools, what tools I use and the cost of them. All right, now let's take our wiring and reconnect it. Now these wires, they just slide in right through that spot right there. You don't need to make a loop and wrap them around. You slide it right into there and then tighten that screw down. Each one of them is the same, okay? And we'll take that wire and we'll slide it back in where it came out, like that. We're going to hold it in with our finger. We're going to hold that wire in as far as we can, and then we're going to tighten it up. Okay, once it's tight, we're going to just snug it down, make sure it's really tight. Okay, next we're going to connect our other black wire right onto this wire here. Push that wire back in there. Okay, we're going to hold it with our pliers, and we're going to make sure it tightens down just on the metal, on the copper part, just like that. And last, we're going to reconnect our red wire on the side here. And that's it. We're going to put it back inside the wall right here, and we'll make sure everything works properly. Okay, now we have our power turned on. Let's make sure it works. Up should make it open, and down will make it closed. And I can hear it opening. That's the neutral position. Nothing happens during the neutral position, and this will retract it then. Once it's retracted, you return it to the neutral position.